Columbus.
Slowly built respect over time, shown toughness, competitive toughness, made a lot of plays.
Last game, when he went down with his knee.
Oh no, he got rolled up on that left leg. No.
He hurting. I know he's hurting. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that speaks a lot for his character and how much he really loves the team.
I thought he was done for the game, and then he comes back in. Doesn't even tell Coach Day he's coming back. He just walks back into the game.
Justin Fields will come back on the field. Knee brace now on that left leg. Thank goodness he's okay after that scary play earlier this drop.
Throws it, touchdown, boom.
Fields to throw it, pump fake.
It's crazy.
Scrambles, sets, fires. Touchdown, Garrett Wilson. Wow. Justin Fields comes off the bench and throws a strike.
He's QB1 at Ohio State, so we trust him.
All right, well, we saw Fields' mobility was limited in that Michigan game. He had to put that knee brace on. Well, then earlier this week, he said, I just feel more secure with it on, especially with my knee being as it is right now. But I definitely can't run as fast, and I definitely won't be able to be as mobile on wearing a bulkier knee brace now for this championship game. So in our last segment, we were talking about what changed since that October 26th game. Well, this is also a factor that is going to play into things now, Fields and his mobility. So how, Dave, if you're Wisconsin, do you game plan against Fields knowing this?
Well, I think this is a big advantage for Jim Leonhard, the defensive coordinator for Wisconsin, from this standpoint. You know, if Justin Fields is full speed, I'm going to be very nervous about pressuring him and him getting away and making a big play with his feet, running. Well, now all of a sudden, you know, he's going to be limited running, and I think mentally it plays on your mind a little bit. So now I think you're going to see a little bit more pressure from Wisconsin and the disguise thing. Who's coming? I mean, that bothered, you know, early on that game was close until, 5-10 minutes in the third quarter. And so I think you're going to see disguise a little bit more. You're going to see pressure. When the pressure does come, I personally would pressure him right up the middle. I would push him out of the pocket and see if he can move and make throws off that leg.
Robert, on the flip side of that, if you're Ohio State, how do you use Fields in this game then?
Well, I'm not saying that he's lying, but let's just say maybe
what
this
are you saying then right now?
Maybe we can just say that this is part of the disguise right here. Maybe this is him just going out and giving Jim Leonhard, the defensive coordinator there at Wisconsin, something to think about. That's just something for all of us to think about. Yes, the bulkier brace can be harder to run in, but we saw when he went back into the game against Michigan,
yeah, no
play.
problem.
I mean, we saw him moving around with this thing. He was just fine. But if I'm Ohio State, I realize that I need to use him in any way that I can because, Coach, as you mentioned it was a really tight game, and the defensive line for Wisconsin and the guys that they have across that defensive line and at the linebacker spot. I mean, they've got some guys that can get into that backfield for Ohio State and wreak some havoc. I think we need to do everything you can. If you're Ohio State, you need to do everything that you can to use Justin Fields if he's healthy enough, and that's what it all comes down to.
And we know this is a championship game, and for Ohio State especially, you're not just thinking about this game, and I know for now they are, but you also think about the bigger picture for them and what they could be playing.
Yeah, this is business trip for Ohio State, where I think it's a reward trip a little bit more for Wisconsin.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to say we as in, like, I'm Ohio State or this is an Ohio State tie or
anything.
Yes,
you
right.
did.
Right.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
We're going to wrap this up right now. It's a good time, right?
Talented.
But we're not wrapping up the big show. If you want to learn some X's and O's and more about Ohio State and their explosive plays, don't go anywhere. Urban Meyer, Jerry DiNardo have urban analysis. Plus, upset alert, upset city in Columbus. The top team the Buckeyes took down to clinch the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Welcome back to the big show. Okay, so we know Ohio State has the playmakers, Justin Fields, J.K. Dobbins. Well, with that comes the big plays. You can see plays of 20-plus yards this season. They are tied for fifth in good company there. And to see just how they're making it happen, we go to Jerry DiNardo and Urban Meyer for our urban analysis.
Coach, I think one of the matchups that really favors Ohio State is their explosive pass game. They're very talented at the receiver, as you know, but Justin Fields has seen a bunch of coverages. More impressive, he's seen a bunch of pressure. Right. And he's oblivious to pressure. Right. And he'll get pressured by Wisconsin, especially with their linebacker scheme. So let's take a look at some of their explosive plays against Michigan from their last game.
All right, Jerry, this is the game within the game for the viewer, and Iowa does a good job of this as well. When you see people go into motion, I think it's really important to understand why they're going in motion. And we would say this is to gather information for the quarterback.
Right.
That's the only reason you send a person in motion.
Right.
And you can see 17, Chris Olave go in motion. Everybody on the planet now knows it's zone coverage.
Right.
Because no one went with them.
Right.
They stayed stationary out here, so it's very simple. So right now, Justin Fields has made the decision where to throw the ball. So you're actually going to see him on the drop here. He looks to his left. And why is he looking to his left? He's trying to hold this safety right here.
Right.
So he looks to the left, then he resets his feet, and this is just poorly played by the Wolverine defense. I mean, this is not some unique scheme, and a great throw and catch.
Coach, this is a little unusual. It's 2nd and 19. It looks like and turns out to be pressure. What happens here?
Well, it's a 5-man pressure, which is they're known for that. What's really hard to believe is that they're on the same level.
Who's on the same level?
The linebacker, number 7, and the corner.
Got it.
And Ohio State's known for their crossing routes. You're in man-free with the blitzer. That means there's no help anywhere. And the 2nd and 19. So you can see this is, I believe it's Wilson.
It is.
For Ohio State comes across, and this is not even hard.
Isn't this a route that got people out of this coverage?
Absolutely. It's one fire, and 2nd and 19. So here's the mindset of an offensive coach, 2nd and 19. Get a good chunk of it back.
Right.
Don't try to throw it down the field.
Right.
So you're going to run a crosser route, your option routes, those type of things. And it's surprising to me that they would, especially when they were hurt so bad last year against this. But it's 2nd and 19, and my goodness, that's a game changer. 2nd and 19, right. You get a big hit.
Coach, I had a hard time figuring out exactly what this is. Explain it to me.
Good offenses are going to try to gather as much information as they can for the quarterback. And he's the only guy that really matters on this. So they notice this is the tight end.
Right.
Okay, and if a corner was out here, it would be zone coverage. Mm-hmm. If the corners are over here, it's man coverage. So right now the quarterback knows the coverage. Okay, this is a fake screen and go. So they're going to fake the tunnel screen, and he's going to come out, they're going to block, and they're going to release up the field. Wolverines are in man coverage.
Right.
Yet this corner just blows the coverage. He's got Austin Mack man-to-man, so here, take a look at it. Fake the screen to Austin Mack, and Ben Victor and KJ Hill are going to release. And as a result, watch the corner up top. The corner has Austin Mack, turns him loose, and Justin Fields obviously does a heck of a job. Look at him stay in there, too, when he gets pressured.
He constantly stays in there.
Yeah, he just hangs in there, man.
You say that about Justin. I remember last year I asked Dwayne Haskins because I thought that he did the same thing a lot. And you know what he told me?
What?
He said when you have Bosa and Young and everybody come, even though they're not allowed to hit you at practice, he says you actually get used to keeping your eyes downfield.
I've heard that before.
Even though he knows they're not allowed to hit you. So it has something to do with the
seeing it every day in practice.
Yeah, seeing it every day in practice.
And believe me, after having Bosa, Young, Sam Hubbard, Jalen Holmes, Tyquan Lewis, I've stood back there with a whistle many times and blown it quickly.
Sure. To reinforce that you're not allowed to hit
quarterback is not live. Put him in another color jersey.
Coach, you said this is one of your favorite plays of the game. Why?
Ohio State is going to act like they're changing the play. And they knew that the Wolverine, it's called check. So when you fake like you're running a play, everybody looks at the sideline. What does the defense do? They look at the sideline too, and they're waiting for the change of the call.
Right.
And a lot of times, if Ohio State knows the defense coordinator is going to, take his time to see what you're in, and et cetera, snap the ball fast. For the viewer, everybody watch two people first. Watch the quarterback. So the quarterback is now act like he's looking, and then snap the ball real fast.
Okay.
So watch the offensive line. The offensive line knows they're going to snap the ball on the clap. Look at the defense for the Wolverines. They're all on one knee. They're all looking over here. Now watch Chris Olave. What a great actor he's down here. So he stands up, clap, he's gone.
That's unbelievable.
And now, I've never seen him drop a deep ball. He drops this.
The wind was a problem.
No
wind. Okay. Trying to help you, Chris.
Hit him in the darn face.
This Saturday, BTN Tailgate heads to the Fan Fest in Indy to get you ready for the Big Ten Football Championship game. BTN Tailgate presented by T-Mobile Saturday at 2 Eastern, 1 Central on BTN and the Fox Sports app. You have Big Ten ACC action, and was this a good one? Ohio State against number 2 Louisville. Picked this one up late in the second quarter. Braxton Miller drives to the hoop. Rebecca Mikulashikova finishes the layup and one. Ohio State goes into halftime trailing by only 2. The second half belonged to the freshman, Kirsten Bell. She drives hard to the hoop, gets the bucket and the foul. Take another look and one. They can be pumped because they go up 3. Buckeyes' next possession. You just heard about her name, Bell. How about this? The steal in transition, and this time a beautiful pass to Crooms, who finishes the layup. Ohio State ahead 5. This was amazing from Kirsten Bell. Take a look at the spin move. She does it all herself. The Buckeyes, this extends their lead back to 5. That's probably the best play of the night. Fourth quarter, 5 minutes remaining in the game. Dorka Juhas, the leading scorer in this game, 15 points. She gets the layup there. Ohio State hangs on to beat number 2 Louisville, 67-60. Vera Jones with Kirsten Bell after the game.
It feels pretty good. Knowing that they're ranked number 2 and we beat them builds a lot of confidence for us. We just came out and played our game.